Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Mr. Jobs English podcast. We're happy you're here with us again. I'm Mia, and as always, I'm joined by my favorite American co-host.
And I'm James. It's great to be back with our amazing listeners. Today's episode is going to be super practical because the profession we chose plays a huge role in daily life. We're talking about plumbers.
Plumbers are absolutely essential. They fix pipes, install water systems, repair leaks. Pretty much any problem involving water, drains, or pressure, they're the heroes who save the day.
Exactly. And I love this profession as a theme for English learning because plumbing has a ton of useful vocabulary, words that people hear all the time but sometimes don't really know in English.
That's true. And the funny thing is, in Canada, I feel like we always talk about plumbers in the winter because it's so cold that pipes freeze.
Oh yeah. In the U.S., too, depending on the region, frozen pipes are a nightmare. If a pipe freezes and expands, it can burst. Burst is the perfect verb. It means to break open because of pressure.
We'll definitely talk about that today. But let's start simple, just to help beginners. The main word of the day is pipe. A pipe is the long tube where water goes through. Every house has many pipes. Water pipes, drain pipes, hot water pipes.
And faucet is another essential word. A faucet is the thing you turn to get water in the sink. Some people use the word tap, especially in Canada and the UK, but faucet is the standard American term.
Yes, and let's introduce leak. A leak is when water escapes from a pipe or faucet. Plumbers spend half their lives fixing leaks.
And that leads to the verb tighten, which means to make something firmer or more secure. Plumbers tighten bolts, tighten connections, tighten fittings.
A fitting is any connector that attaches one pipe to another. It's a small but important word.
And we also have wrench, which is the classic plumber tool. A wrench helps them grab and turn pipes and nuts. There are different types like adjustable wrenches and pipe wrenches.
You know what I love about talking about tools? They sound strong. Wrench, pliers, torch, sealant. They give that sense of building and fixing things.
Sealant is a good one. Sealant is material that closes gaps so water can't escape. It can be silicone, tape, paste. Plumbers use it a lot.
Speaking of gaps, drain is also super important. The drain is the opening where water goes out of a sink or shower. When it's blocked, we say it's clogged.
And you don't want a clogged drain. That's when bad things happen. Water rises, the smell gets weird, and then you need a plumber fast.
Yes. And the tool used to unclog drains is often a plunger. It's that rubber tool with a handle that you push up and down.
And when the problem is deeper in the pipe system, plumbers might use a snake, also known as a drain snake or drain auger. It's a long, flexible tool that goes inside pipes to remove blockages.
I love the name snake. It matches the shape perfectly.
And another word that's common is valve. A valve opens or stops the flow of water. Every house has a main water valve that controls the whole system.
And lots of people don't know where their main valve is until something goes wrong.
True. It's usually in the basement, near the water meter, or outside near the foundation. And foundation is the structure at the bottom of a house.
We're already getting into some really useful terms. And I think it's the right moment to talk about what plumbers actually do during a typical day.
Yeah, let's build that mental picture. Imagine a plumber starting early in the morning. He checks his schedule. Plumbers always have tight schedules because emergencies happen all the time.
Exactly. And the first appointment might be a simple leak under the kitchen sink. The customer explains, "There's water on the floor," or "My cabinet is getting wet." So the plumber opens the cabinet, checks the pipes, looks for the source of the leak.
The source is the origin, where the problem starts. He might find a loose connection, a cracked pipe, or worn-out sealant.
Worn out is a great adjective. It means something has been used so much that it lost its quality.
After tightening the connection or replacing the part, the plumber tests everything by running water again. This is called testing for leaks.
And then he cleans the area, explains the problem to the client, and goes to the next appointment.
The second job of the day might be something bigger, maybe installing a new toilet or a new water heater.
Let's talk about toilets for a moment because the vocabulary around them is surprisingly technical.
Absolutely. First, the tank is the part that holds the water. Inside the tank, there's the flapper, the fill valve, and the float. These parts control the water level.
And when a toilet doesn't stop running, usually the problem is one of these pieces not sealing or not moving correctly.
And when you don't want to flush is essential. To flush means to make water go down into the sewer line.
The sewer line is the big pipe that takes wastewater out of the building.
Now, water heaters are a whole different world. A water heater is the device that warms the water for showers, sinks, washing machines.
And it can be tankless, which means it heats water instantly without storing it, or traditional, which uses a big tank.
And another expression is water pressure. That's the force of the water coming out. If your shower feels weak, you have low water pressure.
And plumbers can check the pressure, adjust valves, or clean sediment. Sediment is the accumulation of minerals at the bottom of the tank.
Exactly. And in some places, like parts of Canada, water is very hard, meaning it has lots of minerals.
Very true. Hard water can damage pipes over time, create buildup, reduce the life of appliances.
And that's why many people install a water softener. It reduces the minerals.
So as the day continues, the plumber might get an emergency call. Maybe someone's basement is flooding.
And flooding happens when water accumulates on the floor, usually because a pipe burst or a drain backed up.
And when customers say backed up, it means the water is going the wrong direction, up instead of down.
Those are stressful situations, but plumbers stay calm, turn off the main valve, use pumps, check the system.
And reassure the client because emergencies can be scary.
And all of this needs communication skills too. Plumbers explain prices, time estimates, parts that need replacement.
Replacement part is a good phrase. It's the new piece used to substitute a broken one.
And something I like about plumbers in North America is that they often talk to clients in a friendly way. They explain things step by step.
Yes, I've seen that too. It makes customers feel safe and informed.
By the way, I once had a plumber in Seattle who told me he could identify 90% of problems before even touching a tool, just by listening.
Listening?
Yep, he said pipes have sounds. Dripping, hissing, banging.
Banging pipes? That sounds scary.
It is. There's even a term for it, water hammer. That's when pressure causes a pipe to hit the wall and make a loud noise.
I've heard that. It really does sound like someone is hitting the wall.
And that plumber told me he could diagnose a water hammer just from 1 second of listening.
That's impressive, and it shows how much technical knowledge plumbers have.
They study piping systems, pressure principles, building codes, safety regulations.
Building codes are important. They're the laws and rules that say how plumbing must be installed, and plumbers must follow them to make sure everything is safe, especially water heaters and gas lines.
Speaking of gas lines, some plumbers specialize in natural gas. They install and repair gas pipes for stoves, heaters, and fireplaces.
And gas leaks are dangerous, so that's high-skill work.
You can see why this is a respected profession.
And a well-paid one, too. And another thing, plumbers often work in different environments. Houses, apartments, restaurants, hotels, construction sites.
And they carry heavy equipment, crawl under sinks, go into basements, climb ladders.
It's a physically demanding job, but also rewarding because you solve real problems and help people every day.
And learners today are getting a full package of vocabulary that really reflects the job.
Pipes, valves, pressure, leaks, fittings, drains, faucets.
Not to mention all the tools.
And the situations, emergencies, inspections, installations.
And I think we'll have even more to explore as we keep talking.
Definitely. There's still so much about plumbers that people don't realize, and it all helps with English learning.
We can dive deeper into tools, systems, repairs, and real scenarios.
And maybe even share a small story to tie the vocabulary together when the moment feels right.
Sounds perfect. And I think our listeners will enjoy that too.
They always do.
Let's keep going then.
And since we're already deep into the world of pipes and repairs, it's interesting how many little details people never think about until something goes wrong. Like the difference between hot water lines and cold water lines. In many homes, the hot water pipe is on the left and the cold water pipe is on the right.
Yes, and plumbers know that instantly. They see the color codes too. Blue for cold, red for hot. And they know exactly which part of the system connects where. It's like a map, only they understand.
And every region has its own common problems. In Canada, for example, houses with basements often have sump pumps.
Right. Sump pumps are great vocabulary. A sump pump removes water from the lowest part of a house to prevent flooding. People usually don't think about it until the pump stops working, and suddenly the basement becomes a swimming pool.
Yes, and plumbers fix those pumps too because they connect to drainage systems. So it's all part of their job.
And speaking of drainage systems, the way houses move water out is actually pretty amazing. Wastewater goes through the drain lines down into the sewer system, and rainwater goes through gutters and downspouts. Plumbers sometimes check these too because clogs can happen anywhere water flows.
Yes, and the verb to flow is essential. Water flows through pipes, and when something blocks the flow, plumbers have to restore it.
And that reminds me of a situation I experienced years ago when I lived in an old apartment building. One morning, I turned on the shower and the water pressure was basically nothing. It felt like a polite drizzle. I had to call a plumber, and he told me the problem was sediment buildup.
Sediment is such a useful word. It's the mineral material that settles in pipes, especially in water heaters.
Exactly. And he explained it to me in the simplest possible English. He said, "Your pipes are tired." Meaning they were full of sediment inside.
That's a great example of clear communication, and it reminds me of the phrase inside the walls because most pipes are hidden. Plumbers often need to use a tool called a stud finder to locate the structure inside the wall before opening anything.
A stud finder sounds like a dating app, but it's not.
It's just a little device that helps locate wooden beams behind the drywall.
And drywall is the material used to build most interior walls in North America. Another useful word.
Super useful. And when plumbers need to open the wall, they have to cut a section and later close it again, usually with drywall patches. They don't paint, it's not their job, but they make sure the pipes are perfect before closing the wall.
And I've seen plumbers with little cameras, too. They put a camera inside pipes to find problems.
Yes, those are called inspection cameras or scope cameras. They help identify cracks, clogs, and leaks deep inside the system without having to break anything open.
And it's amazing how technology helps. Plumbing used to be more guesswork, but now with cameras, pressure gauges, and sensor tools, plumbers can diagnose things much faster.
Pressure gauge is a good one. A gauge is a device that measures something. In this case, water pressure.
In Canada, many homes have issues with pressure in the winter because cold temperatures affect pipes.
In the U.S. too, especially in the northern states, frozen pipes are one of the biggest winter emergencies. And many people don't know the phrase pipe insulation.
Pipe insulation is material wrapped around pipes to keep them warm and prevent freezing, and plumbers install it when preparing houses for extreme temperatures.
And here's a personal story. I once tried to insulate pipes myself, just a small DIY project, and I realized that plumbers deserve every dollar they earn because my version of pipe insulation looked like I wrapped the pipe with a confused snake.
At least you tried, and that's something that helps learners too, understanding when to call a professional. Plumbing vocabulary helps you explain the situation even before the plumber arrives.
Yes, imagine calling and saying, "My kitchen pipe is leaking under the sink," or "My shower drain is clogged," or "There's low water pressure in the bathroom." That's clear and saves time.
And another useful expression is water meter. The water meter measures how much water the house uses. Plumbers sometimes check it to identify leaks.
Especially hidden leaks. Those are the tricky ones, the ones you don't see, because the water is escaping somewhere behind the walls or under the floor.
And that brings us to another helpful word, moisture. Moisture means small amounts of water in places where it shouldn't be.
And when moisture accumulates, it can cause mold. And mold isn't technically a plumber's job, but plumbers often discover the cause of the moisture.
Exactly. And they give recommendations like, you should fix this leak soon or mold will grow.
And speaking of recommendations, plumbers also help homeowners understand how their systems work. For beginners learning English, expressions like open the valve, turn clockwise, loosen the nut, tighten the fitting, run the water, flush the system, test for leaks, those phrases are extremely useful.
And they appear again and again in real conversations. For example, if the plumber says, "Can you run the water for a second?" they simply mean turn the faucet on.
And when they say flush the system, it means letting water flow through the pipes to clean them.
And I really like the phrase water supply line. It's the pipe that brings clean water in, and drain line takes used water out.
Yes, and the two systems never mix thanks to something called a P-trap.
That's a great one. A P-trap is the curved pipe under sinks. It holds a bit of water to prevent bad smells from coming back up from the sewer system.
And plumbers clean the P-trap often. People don't realize how much hair, food, soap, and random mystery items end up in there.
And random mystery items, yes. I've heard stories about rings, toys, bottle caps.
And one plumber told me he once found a tiny rubber duck inside a bathroom drain. No idea how it got there.
That's adorable and chaotic at the same time.
And plumbers see those surprises almost daily.
And they also deal with connecting appliances, dishwashers, washing machines, refrigerators with water dispensers.
Water dispenser is a great term. It's the feature on some fridges that gives cold water or ice, and plumbers install the water line for that.
Exactly, and dishwashers need connections to both water supply and drain lines. So plumbers make sure everything is sealed and secure.
Sealed is another useful verb. When plumbers seal something, they close it tightly so no water escapes.
And that word connects to sealant from earlier. People see it in home improvement stores but don't always know what it means.
And sometimes customers try to fix things themselves and use the wrong sealant.
Yes, like using bathroom silicone on a high-pressure pipe. That usually ends with a bigger leak.
And that's why plumbers often redo DIY fixes.
Another part of a plumber's day is working outside, not just inside homes. They sometimes dig to reach underground pipes.
And the underground pipe that takes wastewater to the city system is called the main sewer line.
That line is critical. If it gets blocked, the whole house has problems.
And plumbers use special equipment like sewer cameras and hydrojet machines.
Hydrojet is a cool term. It's like a high-pressure water blast that cleans the inside of pipes.
Powerful and effective.
And the thing is, plumbers need not only physical skills, but mental ones too. They analyze systems, understand water dynamics, pressure changes.
And they know building codes, safety standards, installation techniques. It's a whole science.
And people often underestimate it because they only see the visible part, someone fixing a faucet or tightening a pipe.
But behind that, there's a lot of training.
And depending on the region, plumbers go through apprenticeships, exams, certifications.
An apprenticeship is a great word. It means learning a job by working under an experienced professional.
It's hands-on learning.
I feel like with each example, listeners are expanding not just their vocabulary, but also their understanding of this profession.
And that's the goal, connecting English learning with real life.
Exactly. And I think we can keep this natural conversation going and bring even more practical expressions and real scenarios that help people imagine the work more clearly. I love how this conversation is flowing today. Every time we talk about a hands-on profession, like the plumber's world, I feel like we uncover so many little things that most people never think about. I mean, we turn on a faucet, water comes out, and that's it. But there's such a massive system behind it.
Exactly. And the cool thing is that plumbing vocabulary is everywhere once you start noticing it. Like earlier today, before we recorded, I went to wash my hands and I saw a tiny sign saying, "Please do not leave the tap running." And my brain immediately went, tap, faucet, valve, pressure, leak, everything we just talked about.
That's when you know the vocabulary is sticking. It starts showing up in your everyday life without effort. And plumbers really deal with so much more than leaks. For example, they also work with something called a drain snake. I always found that name hilarious. It's not a snake, but it behaves like one when you use it.
Yeah, it slithers through the pipe. And just so listeners understand it clearly, a drain snake is a flexible tool used to clear clogs inside pipes. Imagine a long metal cable that can travel deep into the plumbing system to remove blockages.
And since we're focusing on accessible English, let's repeat that naturally. A clog means something is blocking the water from passing through. A plumber uses the drain snake to remove that blockage. It's one of those essential tools they rely on all the time.
Definitely. And speaking of tools, another super common one is the pipe wrench, a large, heavy wrench designed to tighten or loosen metal pipes. If someone listening ever watches a movie where a plumber shows up, 90% of the time he's holding a pipe wrench. It's basically the mascot of plumbing.
I love that. And the vibe of plumbers carrying that huge tool feels almost heroic. But actually, I wanted to mention something that's very Canadian. In many homes in Canada, especially older houses, we still have copper pipes. They're durable and safe, but they need special care when connecting them. And plumbers sometimes have to solder them, using heat to melt metal and connect two pieces.
That's true. And in the U.S., depending on the region, you'll also see copper, PVC, and even PEX pipes. PEX is that flexible plastic pipe that bends like crazy and makes installation easier. I swear, when I first saw it, I thought it was some kind of magical tube. But plumbers love it.
It's funny how every type of building has its own plumbing personality, even though the fundamentals stay the same. And that's why the vocabulary can be so useful for learners, because it's universal. Wherever you go, water, pipes, sinks, toilets, showers, they all need care, and plumbers make that happen.
And we haven't even talked about one of the most stressful things plumbers deal with, burst pipes. When a pipe literally breaks and water goes everywhere, full chaos.
Oh, that's a nightmare. But the vocabulary is simple. A burst pipe means the pipe exploded from pressure or temperature. In Canada, this is super common in the winter. Freezing temperatures make water inside the pipe expand, and boom, it bursts.
In the U.S., it also happens in cold states. And plumbers become rock stars during those winter emergencies. They show up with a torch, tape, tools, and pure confidence.
Speaking of confidence, I think something that's often overlooked is how plumbers communicate with customers. They need to explain problems in simple terms, so good communication skills are part of the job. And for English learners, it's perfect practice because plumbers use everyday verbs like tighten, loosen, replace, install, and inspect.
Good point. Inspect is a great one. To inspect something simply means to check it carefully. A plumber might inspect the bathroom, inspect the water heater, inspect the pipes behind the wall. It's everyday English.
And then there's water heater, which is such an important object. Without it, there's no hot shower. And plumbers are the ones who install and fix it.
And sometimes they also check the water pressure, which is how strong the water flows. If the pressure is too high, the pipes can get damaged. If it's too low, then you're just standing under a sad shower drizzle. No one wants that.
Absolutely not. And there's another phrase plumbers use all the time: shut off valve. It's the valve you turn to stop the water supply. And it's such an important concept. If someone has a leak at home, the first thing the plumber or anyone should do is close the shutoff valve.
It saves your house from becoming a swimming pool. And honestly, I think every adult should know where their shutoff valve is, no matter where they live.
Yes, that's real life English right there. Useful, practical, immediate. And this is one of the reasons I love this project, because our listeners can go out today and understand something in their home that they never noticed before.
Sometimes it's even fun to explain these words because they're simple but powerful, like leak, just water escaping where it shouldn't. It's such a tiny word for such a big problem.
And plumbers often say things like, there's a leak under the sink, or you have a leak in the wall, or I need to replace this pipe to stop the leak. So learners can listen to these sentences and imagine real situations.
And another skill plumbers use is measuring. They measure pipes, spaces, water flow. The verb measure is extremely useful. I feel like this job teaches so much practical vocabulary.
Speaking of practical, I want to bring a small natural story like we do in every episode. Something simple and realistic. So imagine this. A customer calls a plumber and says, I have a leak in my kitchen. The plumber arrives, inspects the sink, finds that the pipe joint is loose, and uses a wrench to tighten it. Then the plumber explains everything clearly. The pipe wasn't sealed properly, so water was escaping. I tightened the joint and replaced the old washer. Everything is working fine now. That small narrative brings several vocabulary words into context: leak, inspect, tighten, replace, joint, washer, wrench.
And I like that story because it's a very normal situation. It's not dramatic. It's something that happens in almost every home. And learners can imagine the plumber talking to the customer, which helps build listening comprehension.
And also it shows professionalism. Plumbers have to diagnose problems the way doctors diagnose symptoms. They look, think, check, test, and then explain. It's a technical job, but also a human job.
Absolutely. And there's a type of vocabulary that's less technical, but super common in the plumber's routine, like turn on, turn off, check again, hold this, pass me the wrench, careful with that, corner, open the valve, close the valve. These verbs are basic, but they're real English from real life.
And plumbers usually move around a lot. They crawl under sinks, go to basements, climb stairs, work outside, work inside. They deal with weather, tight spaces, dirty environments, and even unexpected smells. But they stay calm, focused, and practical.
That's true, and sometimes the job requires teamwork. One plumber holds a pipe while another cuts it. One checks the water supply while the other installs the faucet. And teamwork vocabulary becomes part of daily communication, like hold it steady, lift this side, push it down, keep it level.
And customers appreciate plumbers who explain things clearly, because homeowners often panic when something breaks. So simple English helps build trust. For example, a plumber might say, don't worry, this is an easy fix, or I'll replace this part and everything will be fine.
And the word fix is key. It means to repair. It's one of the most used verbs in all technical professions. Fix the pipe, fix the heater, fix the faucet, fix the leak.
And it's short and friendly, which makes it perfect for learners.
So as we wrap up naturally today, I really love how many practical words this profession gives us. It's one of those jobs that keeps homes running, keeps people comfortable, and gives so much real English to practice.
Yes, and I hope everyone listening today enjoyed learning this vocabulary with us. It's beautiful how language and real life connect so naturally.
Definitely. And before we go, let's say what we always say to our amazing listeners.
If you enjoyed today's episode, follow the podcast, hit the like button, and tell us in the comments which profession you want us to talk about next.
Thank you so much for spending time with us.
Take care, everyone.
See you soon.